Hey, it's Todd Burry from toddburry.com. So is there a goal that you want to accomplish, like that you really want to accomplish? This video will give you some insights as to how to help yourself keep going to accomplish a goal. And by the way, if you really need like structure on how to create goals and reality check goals and all that stuff, if you go to my blog and just toddburry.com and you just put in goals, you'll get many, many things from years past that will give you a lot of things around goal setting that will be helpful for you. I've done a lot of goal stuff over the years. But this one is just some things that you can kind of lock onto. So the first thing is you got to want it bad, right? Especially if it's a really meaningful, big goal. You got to want it bad. And that means that you can't want it for the surface reason that you want it, right? So maybe it's a financial goal or a material goal, or maybe it's a fitness goal. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's a significant goal, that goal is not really the reason you want that goal, right? Some people call this the why, but I call it the deep intrinsic motivator. And I do this with my coaching clients often, where I will say, what are your deep intrinsic motivators? And you know what? It stymies them a bit, because they're not used to thinking that way. And this is really important to do, because when you get really deep into why it matters for you to accomplish something, and then it's not about the thing you're trying to accomplish. That's almost irrelevant. It's about what it truly means, because that's the thing, right? The deep thing is what you will run through a wall for. The surface thing, look, we're used to discarding surface things, right? We get surface things and then they're meaningless to us, right? Think about money, right? There's times you get money and you have lots of money, and you know what? It doesn't make you any happier. It doesn't change your life, right? It's the deeper things that those things can represent and shift. Those are the things that matter most. So you got to want it bad, and you got to figure out why you want it bad. What is it deeply that's going to matter from what it is? The next thing is, remember that you can get good at it. And so this would very much apply to anything that was a pursuit. Because the bottom line is, if you're trying to accomplish something that you've never done before, you're going to have to become more than you are, right? You're going to have to do things you've never done, which means you're going to have to work at things that you're probably not real good at yet. And that's the operative word, yet. Remember, there's tons of things you're really good at in your life that you weren't very good at one point, but you got good by doing it over and over and over, right? You got to be okay with being bad at something before you have a chance of being good at it. That's just the reality of it. You got to put away your image. You got to not worry about what other people think, and you falling down and making a fool of yourself and tripping over yourself. That's part of it. That's the only way you get better, right? You don't get better at something by only doing it once you think you're good at it, because you can't get good at it without doing it, right? So just remember, you've conquered the learning curve over and over and over and over and over in your life, and you can do it again. But you just have to do it, right? Was it Malcolm Gladwell in his book Outliers talked about people who became insanely successful at certain things. It's a really great read. And one of the triggers was 10,000 hours of doing it. I would submit you do something for 10,000 hours, you're going to get pretty darn good at it, right? But that doesn't happen overnight, right? It happens from doing it and doing and doing it and struggling while you're doing it and fall down. And that's just how it works. And so you have to be conscious of that just because you start taking your steps and you're not real good doesn't mean you can't accomplish your goal. It just means it's going to take you a while to get better. That's all it means. The third thing is, don't have a plan B. Right? Don't have a plan B for when it doesn't work, because you automatically have given yourself an escape hatch. You don't want an escape hatch. You want to accomplish the thing you want. So why give yourself a plan B? Don't say, well, if I don't do that, I'll do this. No, that's not a way that you want to be thinking, right? If it's in your heart to do something, there's nothing that's going to replace that. So there's no plan B, right? If there's only plan A. Right? Does that mean you don't have a plan for obstacles and challenges as much as you can? Of course you do, right? But those aren't plan Bs, right? Those are just new parts of plan A, right? When you have set a goal that's really meaningful, You don't say, okay, well, if everything works out, well, I'll accomplish this. You go, no, I'm going to accomplish this no matter what. I'm going to take a step at a time no matter what. Jim Rohn, one of my favorite all time, said, you will see me on top of the mountain waving my flag, or you will see me on the side of it dead from trying. I love that mentality because that's the way it is. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny goal, right? This doesn't apply. But things that are really meaningful, right? That's where you make major changes in life and accomplish major things. So the next step thing is, remember, it's one step at a time. That's it. And you take that step and celebrate your accomplishments. Celebrate taking a step, right? It doesn't mean you take the day off because you took your step and don't take another one tomorrow, right? No, but you give yourself credit for that. You're going to beat yourself up when you mess up. So give yourself credit for taking your step every day, because you only need to take a step every day. That's all you need to do to accomplish something of meaning, is take a step every day. You don't even need to know what all the steps are in front of that one, because many times you can't see the next step until you take this one right in front of you. And so just take a step at a time, and remember that's how big things are accomplished, a little at a time. And then the last thing is, you got to love yourself enough to recognize that you are worthy of doing it. And this is not a little deal for most people. 85% of the population struggles with self-esteem and self-worth, and society is doing its best to make that 100% of the population. That's just the world we live in. But we don't have to fall prey to it. So you got to invest in yourself. This 3 Circles Living. If you haven't read the book, that will help you a lot. But you got to invest in yourself, self-care and development work every day. So here's a really simple little formula. Every day, relative to your goal, 1, take a step towards your goal, and 2, develop yourself that day. Do a little training in that direction, a little development on you, a little self-care on you. Take care of yourself physically and emotionally and spiritually and intellectually, right? Because that's showing you're worth it, and that means you're worthy of accomplishing your goal. It all works together. And so those things will help you significantly. And any one of those, right, if you really attach onto it, will make a difference. And take it from me. I mean, I've lived it for a long time. So hope that was helpful. Feel free to share it with someone else if you think that they could use it. And if you need a little coaching, feel free to reach out. Have a great day.